Hello there, and welcome to another Starfield video. In today's video, it's going to be the start of a little kind of a mini-series, I suppose. I say mini-series, but probably be just a couple of episodes. Well, I suppose that is a mini-series. Anyway, so I got a comment on a recent video about making a kind of a starter ship build where you don't have much perks or you don't have any of the specific quests done. And I was like, that's a really good idea. So while building it, I thought to myself, I'm level, just to confirm, I'm level 9, as you can see there. And I gave myself a budget of 100k. Now, the thing is, the more money you have to spend, the better the ship is, but starting off, you're pretty much limited on your options. So I came up with this. Now, you notice it said Stroud starter build, because while building it, I had the idea of kind of using only one specific manufacturer's pieces. Well, almost one manufacturer's pieces. With the intention of kind of making, imagine, if various manufacturers sold entry-level ships. Because they do kind of, but they're not really kitted. So anyway, so this is the Stroud one. So as you can see, I tried to, I kind of went with a similar style that I tend to do a lot with Stroud I can build. Repair that. I don't know why that was damaged. So this is using merge techniques to hide various components to try and make it as streamlined as possible while also being functioning. So if we look at the stats here, so we've got a fuel of 200. Now keep in mind this is starter level, entry level. You've got to level 10 and you're upgrading from the frontier, and this is kind of what you're going to go for. It's got fuel 200, pretty decent. That's more than enough to get you where you need to go. Hull of 478. That's, again, pretty decent. You're pretty low level, so you're not going to really be coming across much high-end content, but if you do, that hull will help. It's got a cargo of 800, which, again, entry level. I feel like it's about enough to kind of do what you need to do. I didn't want to add much more because if you put a little bit too much on it, the jump range drops, and I wanted to keep the jump range as high as possible. It's got an A-class reactor with 18 power. I believe, just doing a little bit of testing and running around, this is kind of the highest reactor you're going to be able to access around level 10. So this is the one we went with. This can have a crew of 4, which is quite nice. Now, the crew of 4 is mainly from the cockpit, but it's just nice to have. If you're starting off, I would recommend throwing all of your companions you find, all the guys from the Constellation, into your ship as a crewmates, just because it really helps. And the good thing about this cockpit, if I remember correctly, I might be completely lying, but I'm pretty sure, is that the seats are set up in a way that they don't really annoy you while you're doing your quests. It's got a jump range of 19. Now, with the current configuration, this is kind of the best I could do. If you were to strip it down a little bit and kind of make it more bare bones, you could get more. But like I said, I wanted to make a ship that was not only functional, but it looked aesthetically pleasing. At least I think it looks aesthetically pleasing. You might be like, that looks pretty poopy, which is valid. I have a very specific style. Well, not some ships, yeah. Anyway, so it's got a 390 shield, which is, again, the best shield you can kind of get around this level. And then it's got 2 sets of weapons. It's got a pair of particle cannons mounted inside the, you can't see them, but they're hidden. They're mounted inside those front prows. And then it's got a missile launcher also mounted inside the front prow. Now, it says the value is 85k, I believe. Let me just double check. How much money do I have left over? Yeah, it's about that. I think I had 101k when I built this, so it's under 100k. So we're going to take a quick look at it. So there's some... Can't jump as high. So as you can see, I tried my best to kind of smooth it out, but we're quite limited with some of the pieces. There's a couple of things that stood out. That bottom kind of, you can see it there, that bottom kind of rear part that I use for the engine. It looks a bit, chunky, but it's all right. Now we're going to enter. We've got a Tayo entryway here. And this ship is supposed to be fully functioning for a kind of generally for a small crew. So we have all of the kind of the amenities needed. We have the workshop, we have the captain's quarters, and we have an armory. So straight away, we have a workstation here, workshop, with all of your necessary stuff. We've got an industrial workbench, weapon workbench, spacesuit workbench, and we have a research lab, so this is perfect. Also, the fact that it's down here means that if you need to jump in and out of your ship to make modifications, you have that available. So next we go up to the second level, and we have this little, just a 1x1 companionway that connects everywhere. We have the docker up there. And then the door here leads to the armory. Now, I want to put an armory because, like, I feel like if you're starting off, you know, you're gonna be kind of finding weapons, and you might get some weapons you like, and you're like, oh, you know, this is a really cool weapon, but like I'm leveling and it's kind of not leveling with me, and you can slap it in here, and then later on when you level up, you'll be like, oh, I remember that weapon, and then you can go and look for a newer version of that weapon. So yeah, pretty decent. And then over here we have a captain's quarters, just because I feel like it's nice for people who might want like that roleplay aesthetic. Now, obviously, you could swap this out for a control station if you wanted to increase the crew to a little bit higher, although at A class, I don't think you can go that much higher. And then, if we go into the bridge... Yes, okay, I was perfect. So this bridge is a really good bridge, especially when you're starting off, because it gives you that, like, 6... Is it 6, I believe? Or is it 4? Yeah, 4 crew starting off, which is really nice. So we've got the pilot seat there, and then we've got co-pilot, navigator, and then we've got 2 seats to the side for whatever you want, weapons, officers, whatever. And the best thing about this is if you do kind of fully laden it with crew members, when they're all sitting in the bridge doing their jobs, they have more than enough space to not be annoying you, which is really, really nice. So anyway, we're going to take her off and see how she performs. I'm currently wearing trucker armor because I'm low level. So power is going to be a bit of an issue for this ship. Starting off, so we're going to be using our pips in a kind of a specific way, which I will show you once we get there. You'll notice there's some merging there. Now, the merging doesn't affect anything from a gameplay point of view, so if you're just starting off and you're like kind of worried, it doesn't. I've been using merged ships since I started playing, and I've several hundred hours in. So for the pips, we're going to put max pips to shield. We're going to put 1 pip, max pips into particle cannons, 1 pip in the missile, and then we're going to put max in the shield, and then the rest in engine. So in this current configuration, we have a base speed of 87, probably going to be about 90. And we have a boost speed of... boost speed of 250. Now this is kind of your combat setup, you know, if you're doing combat, because in combat weapons matter more than agility, at least when you're starting off, when you don't have access to thrusters. Weapon wise, we have those dual particle weapons there. As you can see, with full pips in, they can fire infinitely, which is really nice. And then missile wise, we've got a missile there which on a current charge gives us around 6 shots. Now, I put 1 pip in the missile because you don't need a fast reload on the missiles. The missiles are just kind of to finish off the targets. Anyway, we're going to do a quick agility test. This is max mobility, so it should be good. So, quick pitch. Yeah, this is quite fast. This is like easily like a 9 or a 10. And then yaw. Same again. Pretty sure this is kind of the fastest you can get for, and then we'll roll. So now we're going to go to build it. So to build it, we're going to go to Neon, since it uses all Stroud Ecklund pieces. So let's go. Alright, so here we are on Neon. So Neon is on the planet Voli Alpha in the Voli system. So Voli is over here. Now you can come to Voli once you've done kind of the intro quest line where you've kind of helped the constellation. Now there is a main quest here. You don't have to do the main quest to get here, but we won't be really exploring too much of Voli because we're just going to be straight off the landing pad into this little hut, like so. And then once you come in here, we will get building.
What can I do for you?
Alright, so here we are. We have it torn down, so I'm going to show you all these pieces. All of these pieces can be found in Neon, and they're all kind of like, they're not RNG. The ship vendors, to my knowledge, they're not the vendors, yeah, but when you modify your ship, they always kind of have the same pieces. So we've got the Stroud Ecklund Viking CP100 cockpit, Stroud Ecklund, 200 cargo and 4 crew station. We have a Stroud Armory 2x1, a Stroud Workshop 2x1, a Stroud Captain's Quarters 2x1, Stroud Companionway 1x1, Extendo Port Docker 200. That's meant to be a Stroud Docker. It can't be using. Hold on now. I did not realize that was. There we go. I meant this one. Perfect. So Connect Pro Docker top from Stroud Ecklund, and then. Okay, we're gonna ignore the fact that this is a tile landing bed because, as you may know or may not know, Stroud Ecklund only do this entryway, and it's a bit finicky. Anyway, so yeah, so that's all of the kind of the habitat modules. So next we're gonna look at the structural pieces. So we've got 2 of these Stroud Cap A, Port 4, and Starboard. We've got 3 of these Tayo equipment plates. These are kind of any build you're going to be using. These are phenomenal. We've got 2 of these Stroud Nose Cap C pieces here. I have 4 of these Tayo side caps just for kind of edging out. You'll see when I put them up. You don't need these. I just put them there because I don't like having kind of like rough surfaces. It's kind of like when you're playing with like Lego or you're making Lego and they have those like the flat pieces with a smooth top, you know, just so it looks more nicer. And then we've got 4 of these Stroud Cap B. Then for the weaponry, we're rocking 2 of these PB30 electron beams from Ballistic Solutions Incorporated, A class, 3000 range, 3.49 fire rate, 13 hull and shield damage, and 3 power. And then we have an Atlatl 270A missile launcher from Lightside, A class, 4000 range, 1 fire rate, 47 hull and shield damage, and 3 power. Now next for the components, we have the R2000 Alpha Grav Drive from Relodyne, A class, 9 power, 20 grav jump thrust. This is the best one you can get at your level. We have the Bastille S81 shield generator from Nautilus, A class, 4 power, 390 shield. Again, this is kind of the best for your level. I went with the Tokamak X100 reactor from Xi'an, or Xi'an. It's A class, 18 power. Now, I believe this is the best. There's a couple that are kind of sitting around. I went with this one just because it has multiple snap points, which is always nice. And then we've got 4 of these White Dwarf 1000 engines from Relodyne, A class, 3 max power, 4650 engine thrust, and 2445 maneuvering thrust. And then we have 4 of these AccuLander 11 landing gear from Stroud Ecklund. We have 2 of these M30 Ulysses Helium-3 tanks, 100 each, and then we have 2 of these Caravel V102 cargo holds. So let's get started with the build. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start in the middle. You got your workshop down at the bottom, like so. And then you're going to connect the ship bed like that. And then we're going to put this back here, the 1x1 companionway. And then we are going to put this on top. Now next we're going to place this here. This kind of sits. Now you'll notice it won't let you place it. Don't worry about that. So what we're going to do is we're just going to press duplicate on this companionway to raise it up higher. And then we snap that there, and then you just duplicate it again and it will drop down like that. Perfect. And then drop this here. Now next we are going to get these side pieces and we're going to snap these in one each side like so. There. One each side like so. Sorry, there's a quick jump there. My dog was being weird. Okay, you snap these like so here. And then what you're going to do is these top pieces. So we're going to put the captain's quarters that side and the armory on the other side. And you're basically leaving like a gap right there. Now, next, what you're going to do is you're going to put the grav drive like so, and you're going to put the shield generator on top of it like so as well. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing as before. We're just going to move this docker over, and we're going to put that like so. And then you can use any piece, but I'm just going to duplicate this because it's easier. So you have the reactor one above, and then you duplicate it down, and then your reactor is merged inside your shield. It has no effect on combat. Your shields will still be able to drop regardless. So next, what we are going to do is we're going to work on getting the weapons set up. So your 3 equipment plates, put one there, and then one there, and then you're going to put one either side, doesn't really matter. And you're going to grab your weapons. So I have one electron beam mounted there, one mounted the other side, like so. And then the final one is this missile launcher. You can mount it either or. Now we're going to snap these in to hide it. So normally they won't want to snap, but you just press Y twice, whatever the flip button is, and then you press B, and that's perfect. And then do the exact same thing again. Just grab it, put it in, flip it back. Perfect. Now, if we come down here, we're going to attach our cargo area, our storage. So we're going to snap one of them to that side, and we're going to snap the other one to, sorry, my camera is being very finicky, and we're going to snap the other one to this side, like so. And we're going to do the exact same thing with these helium-3 tanks. One that side, and one the other side. The reason we're putting them here is they're going to be hidden behind the landing gear, just to make it a little easier. So now we're going to mount the landing gear, and we're going to do the same technique again. We're just going to flip it back. Might flip it a few times to get it to like line up properly. There we go, perfect. And we're going to do the same thing again. I'm just going to duplicate them. 2, 3, and perfect. And then we're going to duplicate them over here. I'm just going to delete these so I don't confuse myself. 4 landing gear all together. Just flip it until it's where we want it to be. Perfect. And then last one. Oh, whoops. So something just to note real quick when you're doing these little techniques. If I duplicate this piece and don't drop it first, if I just try and do it, because it hasn't technically been dropped, when you let go of it, it will disappear. So if you're ever duplicating a piece, you have to drop it first, and then it should work like so. Perfect. Now we are going to do the engines. So just 4 of these engines, pretty simple. I'm going to delete these and just... Now, you don't really need to cover the engines, but I kind of cover them just because I think it looks a little nicer. So we're using these Stroud pieces here, and just like same as before, just gonna flip them back, and then same again, flip them back, flip them back like so, and then you can. Sometimes they will just automatically snap, but you just engage, just flip them back like so. Perfect. And then finally we have these pieces. This is what I was saying. So these like habitat modules, they have this little kind of snap point. Now you can keep these snap points there because, like I said, you have a little bit of money to play around with. You've got like about 15k, so you could kind of get a little bit more carry capacity on these if you wanted to. Now that would kind of give you like 2,000 cargo, which is really nice, but you're kind of losing a bit of jump drive and you're losing mobility. So I just kind of cover these for now, just in case. Like, you can do whatever you want with them. I'm just going to cover them like so. And then... Now, you may be asking yourself, how, you know, what way am I going to make this ship? Like, what am I going to go find one? What I did is I just basically tore down the Frontier and rebuilt it. If you're not a fan of tearing down the Frontier, you want to, like, keep it for nostalgic purposes, you can just steal any ship and just basically tear it down. Depending on what ship you steal, it'll probably cost you a little bit less to build it, just because you're going to have better pieces. But just be careful if you do plan on stealing a ship and you try to break it down. If the ship has higher components, then you have the perks unlocked. So if it has like a tier 2 reactor or something like that, it won't let you actually build it. But yeah, that's it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I plan, like I said, with it being Stroud Ecklund, I want to do some other ones. So like the Hope Tech, Deimos, and Nova Galactic and Tayo, just to kind of spruce it up a bit. And just kind of give some ideas. Because obviously, like, this is just an idea. Like, you guys could basically build it whatever way you want. You know, if you want to modify it, if you wanted to, say, slap some of these ones on instead, you know, you wanted a more curved design, you could definitely do that. Oops. You also have, like, quite a lot of, like, snap points. So if you wanted to add more weapons to it, just showing here, you want to add more weapons to it, you could take these off like so. And you could go into the structural section, put some of these bad boys here. And then you can mount way more weapons if you want. Also, if you do unlock the perk where you get the B tier, this ship is set up in a way that you could add turrets. So making use of the equipment plates, you could add some turrets on the back here, covering you. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Don't forget to subscribe and check out some of my other videos. Bye-bye.